Hi everyone, welcome back to the third video in this series wherein we're learning how to make a to-do list using React.js and Tailwind CSS. We're learning how to perform all CRUD operations using the example of a to-do list. CRUD stands for create, retrieve, update and delete. In the last two videos, we saw how to add items to the to-do list, how to retrieve them from the local storage, and how to edit our to-do list items on the spot. In this video, we're going to see how to delete an item, that is the delete operation in our CRUD list. So let's get started. I'm in the item.jsx file. Here I'm going to add an on-click event when the delete icon gets clicked. I'm going to call this function handle delete. So on my trash to icon, which is my icon for delete, I added an on click event which calls a function handle delete. I am going to define that function here, handle delete, and here inside handle delete I'm going to invoke the set to dos function that we had in app.jsx. We have our to-do state defined, which maintains a list of all to-dos, and to modify the same we have the set to-dos function. We're going to invoke the set to-dos function here, wherein we receive all the previous to-dos from this list, and then we're going to iterate over all the previous to-dos to filter out the to-do that should be deleted. And here we are going to compare the to-dos based on ID. So we are going to check and return all of the to-dos that does not match the current item's to-dos. So here the whole app resides in app.jsx, wherein to maintain a list of to-dos we have this component called as to-do list, wherein the list is maintained using the to-do list component, and each individual row of this to-do list is maintained in the component item, which is through item.jsx. Now here in to-do list.jsx we just have to make a small change, because our delete operation is happening using the IDs, as in when an item gets deleted we are going to return all the to-dos that don't match that ID. So here in to-do list.jsx we just have to make a small change, wherein when creating the item component, instead of being the key as index, we would make the key as item.id, because when it's going to delete and the same is going to reflect on the UI, the item ID will be what is going to be compared. The key is important. And here we are telling it to return all the to-dos that don't match the current item's ID. Let's check if this operation is working. So here on do the laundry, I click the delete icon, and yes, it got deleted from the UI as well as from the local storage. I don't see it in the list in local storage anymore. So our delete operation got performed successfully. A couple of more operations that we can do right here is that there is nothing in my add list anymore in my input here, but if I click on the add button, an empty list item gets added. I don't want this to be happening, so let's change our function for that. So this is happening from app.jsx, wherein I have the button, and on click of the button add to do function gets called, which then checks for the title in the form input. I'm going to check if the title is not present, then I'm just going to ask it to return, as in don't perform anything beyond this point. So Let's see if it worked. I have nothing added here, and then I click on the add button, and yeah, no empty item is getting added. Let's add one more event. That is, whenever I am creating a new item, I have to click on the plus icon to add the item to the to-do list. One common functionality that most to-dos have is that once you enter your to-do item in the input box and you press the enter key, it gets added to the list. So I want an operation wherein, so here on my input, I add an event on key down. I want to invoke the function. Here I'm going to check if there's going to be an event. So I'm going to check if event dot key code. I'm going to compare the key code, and we want to check the key code for the enter key, which is also the return key in Mac OS. So the enter key has the key code of 13. So if the key code is 13, I want to call the add to do function. Let's test it. I have entered an item in my input, and now instead of clicking the button, I'm going to press the enter key, and yes, it got added to my to-do list. And now I can mark any of my to-dos as complete. I can edit my to-do items. I can also delete items from my to-do list, and I can mark my items as complete. So I think in this video we've completed all of the functionality intended for this to-do list app. You can make variations of your choice, add more to it if you want, like customize the styling and theme as per your choice. And don't forget to upload this app on your GitHub to showcase it to your future employers. That is all for this video and this series. Thank you all. Bye bye.